Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are coming from. Good day. Today we're going to be using UV resin and stickers to create the cutest, most whimsical little charms, keychains, pendants, magnets that you've ever seen. Well, that I've ever seen. I love them. But it wasn't without its complications. So stay with me and you'll learn a few things about UV resin and stickers too. Oh, and I also have a very important question for you. I've been thinking, what if I just gift some of the things I make in these videos, my experiments, my examples, to my audience? So we'll talk more about that later. Let's get to it. I got these DTF transfer stickers off of Temu. You never know what you're gonna get when you order from Temu, but these are so adorable. I just love all things whimsy, all things fairy, so I had to have them. I also got these little colorful monster stickers, so maybe we'll try to do something with that too. I've also got these open back bezels that I think are kind of whimsy too. And they might look good with these little nature fairies. They're just about the perfect size. And then I've got some silicone molds I might use. We're just gonna mix it up and play it by ear. But I definitely want to use my new pearlescent UV resin. If you didn't see the last video, check it out. I used every single color. I am loving these pearlescent UV resins. I'm also going to be using clear UV resin, and of course you'll need a UV light, some popsicle sticks, a lighter to pop bubbles, and be sure to wear your protective gear whenever you're working with resin. I've got gloves, a respirator, and I also have my Resinaire's air purifier. I think I'll try my little open back bezel first. So we're going to need some UV resin tape, and I use those popsicle sticks to put on each side just so I have something to hang on to when I'm working them that my hands don't stick to. The great thing about working on the silicone mat is when you are trying to seal these, because these are a little wonky, these bezels, and so I've had them leak before. But I'm really using my tongue depressor to push them into that silicone mat, and it gives it a little bit of cushion to push them into and helps that tape adhere. And I'm also going to flip them over and really rub the back of them so that they can have a good seal. Now for the fun. Let's get gloved up and start putting down some of this gorgeous pearlescent UV resin. This stuff is opaque but cures under the light like any normal UV resin, and it's just gorgeous. So I wanted to use that as a backdrop for my fairies. And because you want to make sure that you don't see the white on the back of the sticker, this will help cover that up. And then I'm going to add in some clear because these are quite large bezels and I want to conserve my pearlescent UV resins. So I'm going to mix in some clear with that. If you hear someone snoring, I swear it's not me, it's my little senior doggy. I think on the second one we'll go for a light purple. And mix in a little bit of white and some clear and swirl those together. Isn't it beautiful? I'm telling you guys, these pearlescent UV colors are phenomenal. And they're opaque. You don't even have to worry about how they're going to cure under the UV light because they're made for that. I'm going to get my lighter out and just try to pop some of those bubbles real quick before I put them under the UV lamp for about 2 minutes. Now the hard part. Which fairies do we want to go on which pendant? They're all so cute. I'm going to go ahead and cut them out a little bit so that I don't have so much sticker to work with when I apply them. And you can see that they're supposed to be transfer stickers because the back is white. And then you're supposed to rub them in and be able to peel them off. So I rubbed and I rubbed and I rubbed and I rubbed, and these stickers would not transfer. I have ordered other stickers from Temu because often I cannot find them on Amazon or locally. So I bite the bullet, I go with Temu, and I hope for the best. As cute as these stickers are, they would not transfer. So maybe it's just that sticker? I went ahead and applied the other two in hopes that it was just that sticker. Or maybe I did something wrong with my resin. And again, I rubbed and rubbed and rubbed and burnished these on. Trying different techniques and different things. I even put them under the UV light, hoping that the heat would help them stick and come off. But nothing worked. They would not transfer without ripping. So my next thought was, I will just cut them and resin right over the whole sticker. Because you won't really be able to see the lines anyway. I have done this before and it's worked. And lo and behold, guess what happened? The plastic started coming up. I have used transfer stickers without peeling the top off before in resin projects and not had this happen. These little whimsical fairies were being ornery and giving me a hard time. So I peeled them up, cleaned them up with alcohol wipes, and reapplied my clear resin. We don't want to waste a whole bunch of UV resin because you know that costs money to peel off the plastic. So next time, I think I'll just cut them down small and not try to peel them at all and put the UV resin over them. Because I think what happened is the UV resin got under where I had tried to lift it and peeled it off, which was great because now we have our fairy image, but I'm not gonna waste a bunch of UV resin to do that every time. I went ahead and cured those for a couple of minutes, but don't worry, you guys still look really adorable and I still love you, but that's what you get. You never know what you're gonna get from Temu. I love them, even though they were a pain in the rear. We'll finish these off in a little bit, but I wanted to show you that I did another one and tried some different tactics thinking it was something I had done wrong. I got out my heat gun thinking maybe we do that, but nope, it still wouldn't stick. My husband suggested try putting an ice cube on it, cool it down. I did that and it did peel up a little bit, but not great. You can see it tore. So we tried everything. It's the stickers. It's definitely the stickers. But I'm not gonna let these get the best of me. I'm gonna go ahead and make some magnets out of them. I'm just gonna not try to peel them at all. Now this mold is actually made for epoxy resin, and honestly it'd be way more cost effective to use epoxy resin instead of UV resin to fill these up. But I'm impatient and I like it to cure really quick and see my results. So maybe use epoxy resin if you don't want the cost of using up all of your UV resin. Because I did not fill this mold to the top, there's some rough edges. I'm just going to take my nail buffer and sand those down. And here's what she looks like. But I really like that gold bezel look around the other ones. So I'm going to get out my gold chrome markers and put a little gold border around her edges. And don't worry, if you're curious about any of these supplies, I'll be sure to put links in the description under the video. And there might even be discount codes with some of them. And now that that gold is finished, I'm going to add my magnet to the back. So you could either use some glue to attach the magnet, or in this case, I'm going to go ahead and put a thin layer of UV resin down because the back is a little bit rough and I don't want it to feel like that in someone's hands. So I'm going to put a layer of UV resin down and just nestle that magnet right in the middle. cure it, and here is our cute little fairy refrigerator magnet. And because of my obsession with these little fairy creatures, I decided to do another magnet with some different colors. And I realized, why don't I combine stickers? So I took two different little gals and combined them into one magnet. And that was really cute. And here's how that one turned out. They're both a little bit kind of wonky and warped, but they're whimsical, so wonky is okay by me. And then I thought, let me try one of these monster stickers to see if it works, if it was just the fairy sticker, because I got them from the same order. So I went ahead and put some clear UV resin down and mixed in some of my pearlescence. So the same technique, I used the same things, cured it under the light, applied my little monster. You can see it's another transfer sticker. Gave him a good rub. And guess what? He transferred and peeled off flawlessly. So it's definitely the fairy stickers. And then I went ahead and just topped him off, finished him up under the UV lamp, gave him a little sanding with my nail sanding block, finished him off with some silver chrome, and now let's make some actual pieces out of these. I made a couple of them into charms or keychains, a pendant, and I thought these would even make adorable Christmas decorations. So about that question and gifting some of my experimental items to you, the viewer, every month or every other week or whenever I have something that just doesn't need to sit around collecting dust. What do you guys think of that? Would you want a little part of my studio, part of my experiment? Remember, these aren't perfect. And I'd probably only be able to ship to the United States just because of the cost of shipping. I could afford to do that every once in a while, but I don't think I could do overseas, so sorry about that, because I know a lot of you are overseas. But I just thought it'd be another way for me to give back to you aside from my videos. So I don't know if you want any of my little relics of experiments or not, but if you do, comment below and let me know so I know going forward whether this would be something we could do in the future, if you'd be interested. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you so much, and I hope that at the very least I have inspired you to create something too. Have a great week.